Well, good morning. I would say that the visit itself was highly successful, and I think when they do the debriefing, they'll all be patting themselves on the back and say it's wonderful. And in the main, it was. You couldn't fault it. It was great pictures, great chats with Macron and Brigitte and all that sort of stuff. And the ping pong was marvellous. I'm glad to see that Camilla let her win. That's good diplomat. But we've got again Charles banging on, which he has done, to be fair to him, for the last 40 years about climate change. Now, this all comes about on the day that Sunak himself, as you well know, was rowing back on his net zero policies, and you would have thought that the script writers or the speech writers for Charles would look at it and say, well, hang on a minute, maybe we should just temper it a little bit. But no, he comes out all guns blazing, which is size 10 feet in it, and starts banging on about climate change, which is a bit, when people like you, me, and the viewers and the listeners are sitting back and are listening to people tell us how we should live our lives, and yet they fly off from London to Paris, watch a fly past, and fly back again. It's a bit galling, it's another case of don't do as I do, just do as you're told scenario. So apart from that, I think it was a highly successful visit.
I mean, because, I'm a monarchist, I'm a royalist, I want them to succeed, but I felt, no, stay out of the politics. And I've got to ask you about this. Front page here of The Sun, your former paper, it says, Harry snubs Charles. He had an offer there to go to Balmoral to be with them on the anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death, and he snubbed his dad. And
Esther felt this just shows how churlish that young man has become, Harry. Here is his father. Now, Charles has been criticised over the last few weeks about not doing enough to send out the olive branch and everything else. Well, here he has. He sent out a huge, great big olive branch, and Harry has snapped it in half. He's flown more than 5,000 miles to Britain to attend a fabulous charity, and his dad says, you come up here, because that's where the royals are. And Harry knows where they are. It's not as if it's a big surprise that, they've deserted London and they're going up to Balmoral. But come up for the day, and Harry could have done that. But no, he chose instead to, go and pay his respects on his own, which he's entitled to do. But he keeps on banging on about the royal family and them not coming back and saying, hello. Charles is king, yeah, but he's also a loving father. Make no doubt about that. Charles loves his boys equally. There is no question about it. Always has done. Maybe not always shown it, but he always has done. And I think Harry is learning a big lesson on this now.
Charles, just finally, Esther mentioned your former paper, The Sun. We've heard the news this week about Rupert Murdoch becoming the emeritus chairman of the company that you used to work for. I just wondered, have you got any memories of Rupert Murdoch when you were working at The Sun? Was he very hands-on there, or did he let you get on with it?
Yes, he was very hands-on. I mean, he was always, especially with the editors, he wasn't hands-on with the grunts like me and everything else. He was always surrounding everything else. And he wants saying he's resigned and everything else. No, he hasn't. He's just shifted. He's still going to be making those phone calls. He's still going to be putting fear into any executive who picks up that phone. I mean, he's a great man. He produced great papers. When I worked there, I'm not trying to be clever in it, we were producing The Sun, 4.8 million people a night. That's 12 to 15 million people in Britain were reading it. Now, lots of people will say, it's a great shame and everything else. But it is a great paper still. And Rupert will still be involved, even though he's now still 92.
Charles Ray, just a quick answer. Does he like the royal family? Is he a royalist?
I think he can take it or leave it. I mean, he does like the royal family, but he's not slavishly towards the royal family. He's look. Rupert treats everybody exactly the same. You well know in politics.
Yeah,
he's let the win.
Charles Ray, superstar as always, brilliant.